Ready, Pia?
Yes.
I'll put the Beverly Hills score. Actually, no, I can't. It's a copyright issue.
That was, remember you wanted to do that. That's how you started out last season too. I'm going to put the music. Oh,
Never mind. I can't. It's on YouTube. And they were like, now you don't get to monetize this video because of that 10 seconds. It's Beverly Hills time. And of course, Pia is going to join me for that. People were asking him, like, you think I would do a season of Beverly Hills without Pia? That's ridiculous.
I remember you sent me the voice note, and I was like so excited that you invited me because I was nervous that I wouldn't get an invite.
And I was nervous because when you replied, you were like, just the other day, a preview for Beverly Hills came on, and I was a little worried. And I was like, oh no, is she going to say that she doesn't even want to cover this season, period? You left me in suspense.
I mean, I did that a little bit on purpose.
I bet you did. I bet you did. Absolutely. We have to cover this season together. We can't not be excited about this season because it's Rinna's first season gone, so you have to support.
I got to say I was a little nervous because as much as of course, we really were vocal about how much we did not want Rinna back on Beverly Hills. And it wasn't just because if I don't like someone, it's not just, I don't want them to lose their job necessarily. It's because I just thought she wasn't serving the story anymore. And I was nervous that I was going to be wrong and that we did need her. Mm-hmm. And I'm so far, I'm happy to say I think this was the best decision. I think that the dynamics have shifted, and I think that we're getting a broader story already.
That's exactly what it is, a broader story. We have more options now.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to see Erica without Rinna because with Rinna, Erica they were like this little impermeable duo that made no damn sense.
Yeah.
They made no sense. It wasn't even like entertaining after a while. It was like, no, literally, what are you talking about? What do you mean you were going to get, it's like having cancer in your body, Lisa Rinna. They even show a few flashbacks. We'll get into it, obviously, but they show a few flashbacks, and I was like, thank you for the reminder. I definitely needed the reminder. You know what, actually, I watched, because I just put on Bravo leading up to the episode. They showed, obviously, last season. That's how they always do it. They show, like, the full season leading up to it. And I watched, like, the second half of the last part of the Beverly Hills reunion from last season. My word, it was so loaded.
My word. No.
I don't know how we got through that.
Yeah, it was getting to a point where it was just becoming insufferable. And I tune into these shows for a reprieve, and I was stressed. They were stressing me.
Because Lisa was so unhinged, the way she was coming for Kathy, and that she's like, you did it to me, Kathy. You attacked me.
And you know what it is? I've moved past like that mid-2000s need for toxicity in my reality shows, people being extremely like cruel. I don't want that anymore. So like seeing people be really cruel to each other and trying to like really destroy each other's lives, I'm like, I can't. Like, this is stressing me out. Like, a light shade. I just want some light shade, guys.
Yeah, no, it was like an obvious reality TV trope that Lisa Rinna was doing. We're like, we see right through you. We know that you've made this bullshit up. None of us understand why Kathy owed you an apology when she was just having a rant vent session. And I'll get into it. Like, I know that there are some things I was like, okay, a different perspective, because we never did hear what Kathy had said about Kyle.
Right.
So it could have been very bad. Like, it could have been, but we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Guys, welcome to She Speaks Bravo, your source for unnecessarily detailed and analytical recaps of your favorite reality TV shows. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss when we upload new episodes. And for my audio listeners, please rate and or review the show. It's a great free way to support the pod. All right, let's get into Watch What Happens Live first. Did you watch? I was like, scared. I was scared for you, Pia, because I was like, it's all Teddy, and Pia has such a deep dislike, and we will get into Teddy.
She didn't disappoint in the worst way.
In the worst way. Kyle was rightfully nervous. Like, I understood the nerves. Like, this is her first time speaking out publicly about all of the Mauricio stuff. So she's already like a little nervous bird, but she was like even more so that. And also like the weight loss adds to like the twitchiness of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a couple things that stood out. When they did a poll in the beginning and they were asking like, okay, can a husband say when a wife can get more tattoos? And obviously everyone said no. Kyle said that she goes, I was shocked, but I was like, ooh, you said that on camera. And I thought, oh. See, she's been on the show for 13 years. How do you not be fully aware of the cameras, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. But it was just an interesting thing for her to note. I actually came out not as angry at Kyle as I thought I was going to be.
Okay.
In the premiere episode. Like, I was so not looking forward to her having like a fitness journey and making that like her storyline. But because she says she didn't like her behavior the season prior and therefore made changes, I was like, okay. I mean, we do kind of want everyone to grow, especially when we ask them, like, did you see your behavior?
Yeah.
And if she's like, I saw it and I didn't like it, so alcohol is no longer serving me and I'm just getting into this. I'm like, I don't hate it as much as I thought I would. Because I was really dreading it. I was like, please don't make this like a Teddy Mellencamp thing.
Well, yeah, no, I think being able to really see what was the catalyst for her journey. I think now I can understand why she kept like being online so frustrated, because she was like, this was like a wellness thing, a mental thing for her. And it was not like necessarily just about vanity. I'm sure a part of it was, but like there was like a bigger thing for her. So I get now why she was so frustrated and was like constantly being like, I'm not on Ozempic, which again doesn't matter. But for her, it's just like, I really was doing this for my like mental health, and like no one's believing me. And it's kind of like when someone says that they get a nose job because they have a deviated septum.
Yeah.
But this person actually has a deviated septum.
Yeah. Like Alexis Bellino on OC. They talk about how the divorce originated from Kyle.
I figured
that absolutely.
Yeah.
Kyle let Mauricio have the primary bedroom because upstairs is like too glam and girly or something. But she had a very hard time getting through that whole segment, talking about like the fact that they aren't together. But then so then they get into Morgan. This may be a hot take, and no one else has to agree with me, but I'm like at the point where I maybe don't think they are hooking up.
I still think they are.
I know. I'm sure a lot of people will. How about this? I will operate from the place of they're not hooking up. They're just friends until we see things on the show play out. And maybe I'm like, oh, never mind. Because the way she answered about that and said, like, she's like, we're really, really good friends. And then she's like, I actually met Morgan with Teddy and they got close because they all wake up at 4 a.m. harrowing. And work out and like text each other in the group chat. Although I guess she did say if she didn't have all those tattoos, people would not say that. I'm like, that was a weird line.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like listen. If she's saying she's not with Morgan, that's fine. It's again like that's fine until she says otherwise. I guess we have to go with that narrative. But I do, if we're here to speculate a little bit, I do think that they are, and I'm not mad about it. I think that the thing is, Kyla has never looked better. I feel like she's in her new era.
She's in like a power era,
yeah. So I think that she's just like I feel like Kyle has kind of like let some of the things that Mauricio, and I think they'll kind of get into it more within the season, but like I feel like Kyle has kind of like let a lot of things go within her marriage with Mauricio. And I feel like, I don't know if she felt like she was so lucky to be with him, like, because he says everyone's like, he's the hottest husband, da-da-da-da. And I feel like now she's like, I'm the hot one in this relationship. And she's like, I want to have my moment. And I feel like, I think that they'll end up together, Mauricio and Kyle in the end. But
I like that.
I just think that Kyle needs this. I don't think she got to have any of that within her marriage, and Mauricio had plenty of it, allegedly. And she's just like, listen, I'm putting you on pause, Mauricio. I'm gonna have a little wild, fun time, and then I'll let you know when you can resume our marriage.
Interesting.
And I'm okay with that. I think Mauricio's also taking full advantage of this break.
Well, I was going to say, because then the holding hands thing with the Mauricio holding hands with his dancing pro happens. And Kyle admits, I was surprised at how, I'll quote Kyle, open and honest she was.
I was too, actually.
Yeah, she's like, no, that hurt my feelings. And Andy's like, do you think anything's going on? She could not get squirrelier about that. She's like, Andy, why are you doing this to me? I'm like, what, asking another question? But then Teddy's like, they're both, okay, here's another thing about fucking Teddy. God. Everything about Teddy is defensive.
Yes.
Like, the way she sits is even defensive. Everything's like, okay,
she was so angry that whole time.
Everything that came out
you
of
would have thought that
mouth.
Mauricio was cheating on her. Like, and I understand that's your bestie, so you're gonna have like some, emotions about it. But like, it's what you said. She gets so defensive that it's just annoying. Like we were already all reading Mauricio. We knew that I was happy that Kyle was like, no, I'm not gonna like. She's always defending Mauricio when little things like this come up, and I was happy that she was like, I'm thinking it too.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it too.
I'm with you guys on that, okay? Yeah.
And I thought her energy was like completely perfect for the situation. But like then here comes overshadowing Teddy. Like, why are you more angry than Kyle in this moment? Like, you're overshadowing her. I don't like that.
And then everyone saw the weird video that Mauricio and his dancing partner posted, right?
They're hooking up. It's ridiculous. It's happening.
I have no idea why they thought saying we are just supporting each other and recapping so we grab each other's hands. I'm like, I don't what? I don't think that even makes sense. What do you mean you're recapping? So you had to hold hands to recap what you guys had talked about?
Listen.
What?
Mauricio, like we're in a new era. We're no longer taking these shenanigans from the Bravo men anymore.
It's not happening, bro.
We know that you guys are canoodling. And I mean, honestly, it's just like, I mean, did you used to do theater when you were younger? You know how it is. You do a show, you're working with the same people, and there's always a show relationship within that. And they're working together constantly. He's openly separated.
Like, they're
Come
dancing together. Like but also I don't know how she even can. After seeing Mauricio dance on Dancing with the Stars, like any boner I ever had for him is long gone.
He's so corny, isn't he?
Oh, the teeth.
Yeah.
Those upper teeth were not right.
I will say his last dance was his best dance.
So this is what I hate about Sorry, I'm going to diss Dancing with the Stars for a second. This is what I hate about Dancing with the Stars is that any mild improvement, you're like, this was okay, but it's like this show is weird to me. They don't really dance.
Yeah.
They're not dancers. So I just don't get, like, what is the point of the show?
I mean, I get what you're saying with that. I have my gripes with Dancing with the Stars. I'm an OG Dancing with the Stars. I do. I have it. I've been watching Dancing with the Stars since day one. I stopped watching during the Tyra era because she ruined the show.
Wow, everyone says that. Wow.
She's horrendous.
Everyone says that about the Tyra era.
It was horrible. I had to stop. But I'm like, I'm just here for a good time and seeing celebrities dance. I don't really care about the technicalities of everything. I don't know the technicalities of everything. So I always care. Carrie Ann is always the judge that irritates me the most because she just doesn't after all these seasons, I'm like, you still don't get that we don't give a shit about whatever thing that you're correcting. Like, I get constructive criticism to help them, but like sometimes I'm like, they're not real dancers. They'll never understand it in this short amount of time. So just do Derek is a perfect example of how to correct people in layman terms that are not dancers. God, I hate Carrie Ann.
And see, this is I think because I was a dancer and like I know the dancer community, so I know Carrie Ann. She's like a legend. I'm like always in support of what she says.
I hate her so much.
Like whenever she has a critique, I'm like, that's what I was thinking.
I was like,
I know.
I just want to watch Greg Brady dance. Damn.
Yeah, that's why I don't get the show. I don't understand. Like, I digress. But anyway, Mauricio and his dance partner are dancing together all the time. Like, of course, the potential. Like, I don't believe they're just friends if they're holding hands at a sushi dinner.
I mean,
idiots, let it go.
Also, that dance was so sexual, and I love that it's dedicated to Kyle. Like, it's so they literally ended like essentially on like laying down on top of each other, like 69ing.
I didn't even see the dance yet. Oh my god!
It was a fun. It's just so funny because like everything is dedicated to somebody, and like his was dedicated to Kyle, and he talked about the separation and all that stuff. But then it's just like on the heels of the whole hand holding, and like it was just a lot.
It was a lot.
What is this, honey?
Every time I thought of buying an electric toothbrush or water flosser, I didn't want to have the bulky charger and the cords. It's just not aesthetically pleasing. Well, Quip solves that problem. Their stuff is so sleek and it has all the same benefits as an electric toothbrush, as a water flosser, but looking chic on my bathroom counter. The water flosser is especially chic. These things are normally really bulky, and they even thought of everything. There's an extra wide lid that fits right under the faucet and it fills up in seconds. The cordless rechargeable battery lasts up to 8 weeks with daily use. So there's none of the tangled cords or charging docks that I just don't like. This can blast away up to 99.9% of plaque from treated areas with precision, thanks to the 360-degree rotating magnetic floss tip that snaps into place. Really easy to control water flow too, that leaves you feeling squeaky clean, just a little touch of a button. Sleek and slim enough to keep your counterparts as clean as your teeth, and $7 replacement floss tips shipped to you every 3 months to keep things up flowing smoothly and prevent mineral deposits from building up. That's huge. And the Quip electric toothbrush is loved by over 9 million mouths. When I told my friend I was sponsored by Quip, he went nuts because he's been wanting a Quip himself. If you're really on top of brushing your teeth, you can upgrade your Quip with a smart motor. This tracks and improves your brushing with the free Quip app. Also, you can earn amazing rewards like free refills, products, Target gift cards, and more. In addition to brush heads, Quip also delivers fresh floss, toothpaste, mouthwash, and gum refills every 3 months from $7. If you go to getquip.com/bravo right now, you'll get 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint and gum dispenser, and water flosser. That's your 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint and gum dispenser, water flosser at getquip.com/bravo, spelled GETQIP.com/bravo. Quip, the good habits company.
Enough!
Kyle and Teddy claimed that they had not heard the Dorit PK rumor.
Can I stop you right there? I think that I think that Teddy gave herself away within the moment Andy asked the question, because she said, we haven't even heard that. And I was like, how would you not know what you haven't heard? How would you know Kyle hasn't heard it if you didn't discuss it? Like, you can say you've never heard it, but how would you know Kyle hasn't unless you discussed it?
And Andy did not believe Kyle when she said she had never heard that even before. She's like, no, I haven't heard it. And he just like stared at her and she was like, what? I'm sticking with that.
Yeah.
And then Dorit and PK released an article through Dave Quinn and People magazine saying that they are not separated.
Oh,
you didn't see that? Okay,
I'll read
a clip from it. Hold on. They released the statement. We remain committed to working through these issues as a united couple for our family. We have not separated, nor are we planning to do so. Rather, we are focused on healing, making changes, and doing the things that many couples have to do at some point in their marriage. They went on to ask for support from viewers. We would be grateful for everyone's understanding. We are doing what we can to focus on the best interests of our family, as opposed to spending time contending with rumors and hearsay that are not true. Love, Dorit and PK.
I don't know. I don't know your stance on the separation, but like honestly, I really do like PK and Dorit together. I don't know.
Oh no, I want them broken up. I want Dorit to thrive on her own. I think PK's a pig.
Oh, okay.
Do you not know what PK has made transphobic posts?
Oh, really? God damn, I don't really follow anything with PK.
Have we not talked about that? I thought we could have swore that was you. That must have been someone else. Yeah, no, I reposted.
Oh, you know what?
We
may have last season, but like I don't remember necessarily.
Yeah,
because I don't really think about PK.
And then he called for the retaliation against Palestine.
Oh my God!
I know. I'm like, where have you been, Pete? We don't like him.
Okay, I really don't follow. I don't know shit about PK until he comes on the screen for Beverly Hills. I don't know a thing about him.
And even then, you like him?
Not necessarily like. I like. It's not that I necessarily like him. I thought that they loved each other, so I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I think that
like,
she deserves
I didn't have like an
better.
opinion on him necessarily, but I thought that their like little unit in their family was like nice. I thought that they actually had like actual love for each other.
Yeah, I thought so too. And then when I started to see the cracks, I'm like, okay, good, lean into that because he's so like happily unhealthy, and she's been trying to get him to like eat. He's like a type 2 diabetic or something already because he just eats like shit, which is a total turnoff. But then,
God, you're about to have me going into deep. I hate when you always do this to me. Like I'm like willfully ignorant about somebody, and then you tell me all these things, and now I'm gonna do a goddamn deep dive on this man.
Yeah. Well, and also like all of his debts, she had to pay off like a $675,000 tax lien from like 2015 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Like, what does he do?
Well, that's the problem. And also, I feel like she felt, and this is not to say she didn't love PK for who he was, but part of what she thought he was a successful businessman.
Right.
Only to find out he's like a charlatan.
Ooh, that's a good word.
Ooh.
Charlatan.
So I feel like that's got to change your perspective a little bit. It's like,
yeah.
Okay, so you're not some big successful businessman. You're actually kind of like a con artist. And I'm having to pay off your debts. Like, remember his crazy gambling debt that he had?
Yeah,
like, it was like $2 million or something. So I was like, please just dump this idiot. Like, Dorit could thrive, in my opinion. She could fucking thrive if she didn't have this. Dump that hairy lug, I say.
Oh, you're like Queen's English today for some reason for me. Like, I don't know what's happening.
Queen's English?
It's the headscarf, I think.
You're like Queen's English today.
The charlatan.
The charlatan.
I was like the way you're even sitting, I'm like, okay. Like, I'm just like this. You're just like, darling, if you haven't heard about the pig. I was like, oh, shit.
That's so fair. That is the energy I'm giving off. I'm not even meaning to. I don't like him. I don't like him one bit.
Well, you've convinced me.
And
there
I
you
think
go.
that Dorit would like be more open to learning and shit about herself if PK wasn't around.
I'm gonna say though, overall, Dorit has one. Like, I was a little over her because she was like, I feel like she didn't have a voice the past couple seasons. She was kind of playing it safe. And I mean,
right?
We brought in for season Dorit this episode, and I said,
we did.
Here for it. I was like, this is the girl.
Yeah.
This is the girl we fell in love with.
How do you like her hair color?
Am I the only one who likes it?
No, I don't dislike it. It actually looks very beautiful on her. I just prefer the blonde if I had to pick. But it looks beautiful on her.
I think that I don't want this hair color forever, but I like this switch up.
Yeah.
I you know what? In pictures, I will say, before I watched her on screen, I wasn't sure about it. I thought she looked, when I was looking at her amongst the cast in pictures, I was like, she's being washed out. Like, I feel like she looks a little plain. But when I saw it on screen, I changed my mind, and I was like, "This is a really beautifully done color."
I agree.
I'm here for the moment. I feel like I don't know, whatever the color. If the color's bringing back old Dorit, like, keep it for a minute, because blonde Dorit was like not working for me. Maybe she needed the switch up for a second.
Yeah, she needed it for herself.
Yeah, she
it's
needed
like
the
back
switch
to
up.
her roots. She's
yes.
I found my power.
I hope at the end of the season she's blonde because she's come into her own again.
Yes.
It's a journey, a hair color
journey. She reveals it at the end. Or at the reunion. How about that?
Yeah, at the reunion. Like, I would love her to be blonde again at the reunion, because she's like completely done the journey and the work that she needed to do to come back to her her true self. I'm hoping for it. Yes.
Okay, back to Watch What Happens Live. They do a game, like one of those, like, oh no, they didn't, or whatever with Teddy. Sorry.
You're triggering me. Sorry.
It's so bad. I made it dude, okay, I will tell you something right now. I have never seen content blow up more than hating on Teddy Mellencamp. I posted on TikTok, on Instagram, and it's everyone, it's like gone viral because everybody collectively hates Teddy.
I mean,
so it's a universal thing. We're in this together, everyone.
I don't know what, she's just so triggering.
I get it. She's so defensive. So she tries so hard to have this moment. Andy, the first question is, how did you feel watching Kyle and Mauricio bicker in that first episode? And she goes, it was really hard because, as much as I love Kyle, I was hiding something my first season. And I was like, I don't really think, we're going to make it. And Andy just tries to go to the next question. But she's like, so yeah, it wasn't easy. And then he just asked the next question. Like, he's like, I'm not taking the bait. I don't give a fuck what you think you're going to get out of this. Absolutely not. We don't care what you were hiding in your first season. You're still together, so I don't care.
Did Kyle ask Andy to have Teddy come on? Was this a favor?
It feels like it. Doesn't it feel like that? She's like, I'm not coming on unless I can have Teddy.
Yeah, because I don't understand. Like, no one wants to hear from Teddy. Like, no one.
And so then there were a couple questions about Salt Lake City, and one of them was about Meredith Marks. And Teddy was so happy to give, like, her shade, but she's just not good at it. That's the problem, is she's something about Meredith, and she's like, that's why she takes so many baths. She can keep her hands clean. And then she, like, makes a face like, that's right, I read her. And I'm like, you didn't.
It's so sad to
watch.
But
here's what pisses me off, fucking Teddy, is she commented on my post on Instagram.
Oh, I saw that.
And
I'm like,
bitch, you have a podcast where you create content that way. So, like, how do you have time for this? She writes, yes, Andy can't stand me so much that he emceed the event I was honored at for the Courage Award the night after. We raised over $1.2 million for melanoma awareness. That's what's important and why I was there. Keep hating, though. Must make you feel better. Heart. Wish you the best. And I said, God, Teddy, stop seeking out content that isn't flattering just to comment and try to be a part of every conversation. You have a podcast where you share your opinions that aren't always flattering about people. You know how this works. Take a note from your friend Tamra and let some things go.
Oh, I thought that was actually a really good read. I was proud of you because that was like ticking everything. That was such a good read.
She goes and seeks out content that she's being taught. Like, by the way, how do you even have time? There's so much, people say nothing but bad shit about Teddy. And then she's like, oh, okay, it's actually about melanoma awareness. I'm like, that has nothing to do with how poorly you did on Watch What Happens Live. And I can tell you from the way this content has been received is that everybody agrees you did terrible. I even had people going, I didn't really understand all the Teddy hate until this Watch What Happens Live appearance.
It's just Teddy. She does make it easy. Like, it's
exactly. She makes it too easy.
Like, sometimes I have to check myself. I'm like, am I being too hard on this woman? And then she speaks. And
Hold on, wait. There have been some really funny replies to her comment that I want to read. Hold on.
Oh, yes.
There have been some really good ones. Okay. Some dumbass posted, like, the very first person to reply to her was like, people can suck, huh?
I did see that. It's like, you need to go
away. You really need to fucking get out of here. Hold on, I lost it. Let me find it. Did she delete it? No, she didn't. Of course she didn't. How could she delete it? That would be crazy. Here's someone wrote, this is why people don't like you.
Just to the point. To the point.
You, of all people, are in no position to speak about hate when you spew it regularly on your miserable podcast that you had to come up with after you failed miserably yet again on reality television. Go cling on to your, quote, friends on reality television to remain relevant. The one singular like on this comment is sending me. It's so good.
That was my favorite one.
Oh, it goes on and on and on and on. Oh, God.
The one singular like on this comment is sending me.
So, yeah, she asked
Put that on a shirt.
That's so... Good point. So Teddy, you're fucking annoying. in every possible way. You just keep getting more and more annoying. And also when she said this stupid line about, because I did think it was kind of out of nowhere when Sutton said that she'd only heard the one rumor about there being someone in PK's car when he got the DUI.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, no, we would have heard that. Just like as a content creator, like when he got the DUI, we were all on top of it. And we would have seen he was in the car with someone. So I was like, that is out of left field, Sutton. But when dumbass Teddy tried to be like, that's interesting coming from the person who has vodka in her purse, Andy was like, huh? And I was like, okay, look, why does that even matter? Like, why does it even fucking matter if she has a little bottle of vodka in her purse? Like, are you saying she was drunk all the time, therefore not credible? Like, what's the fuck? What are you talking about?
I guess I thought about that comment for a long time because it didn't make any sense to me. And I think her real reaching with that comment is to say that, like, you can't talk about people's DUI because she's a drunk.
And I was like, that doesn't equal that.
It doesn't equate because she has a driver, so she can be drunk all day if she wants.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that is complete. Like, what you could have just gone with. I actually read you could have skipped that part and just said I read the police report, which actually was like, oh, you did. And I'm like, okay, look, you have value. But no, instead she's like, oh, Sutton carries vodka in her purse. I'm like, literally not one of us gives a shit right now.
She's trying to desperately figure out how she can, like, be interesting.
Yep, that's exactly what every single answer was like that.
Yeah, and it's like, you're not interesting. You're just not. It'd be one thing if she just wasn't interesting. That's just like whatever. Mm-hmm. But you're just also full of contradictions. You're uninteresting and full of contradictions. And it's just like, you give me a headache. You give me a goddamn you're oxymoron. And I can't handle it.
The best part is the way the show ends. It's like, okay, guys, thank you so much. Next week we have so-and-so, whatever. And then, like, it's about to be, like, the show's about to completely end, like, go off air. And Andy just goes, oh, yeah, listen to 2 T's in a Pod.
That's hilarious. I didn't even catch that.
Someone in his ear was like, you have to say something about 2 T's. You have to say something about 2 T's. And he's like, oh, yeah, listen to 2 T's. I did get a DM from someone who was actually one of the audience members at this show, this taping, and they said that Andy in general did not seem into it. Like, he seemed like hungover or sick or something.
Okay. All right. That's a good little behind the scenes tidbit. Mm-hmm. I did want to point out one thing in the show where I don't know if it was a viewer question, but it came up directed towards Kyle, if she ever thought that, like, her and LVP could, like, be friends again. And Teddy jumped on it so hard and was just, like, putting all these unnecessary, like, comments about, like, run-ins that they've had. And the Andy was funny because he was like, I think it was funny when she, like, left you with the check and things like that. And whatever you, like, feel about LVP, Kyle, or their friendship, let me just say, I universally think that we all should root for them to become friends again.
I agree.
Solely to piss Teddy off.
I fully agree.
Because Teddy, like, I can see her, like, she is so scared
that is going to happen.
That it's going to happen because, you know what? I honestly think it could and would happen if LVP went back onto Beverly Hills, no Teddy around. I absolutely think that they would have a reconciliation because at the end of the day, they have a, like, history. And I do think Kyle misses her.
Agreed.
I do. I can't say the same for LVP, but I think LVP misses something about the friendship. Mm-hmm. Even if it's the back and forth.
And it would just make Teddy, because Teddy has had multiple attempts. Remember when she, like, went up and had a conversation with LVP because she was up there with Tamra at, like, Tom Tom for some sort of Bravo event. And so she tried to have a conversation with LVP and it clearly didn't go anywhere. They're clearly still not cool. So if Kyle were to make up with LVP, I guarantee LVP would be like, but I'm never making up with Teddy. Just so we're clear.
And that
would make me happy.
I actually do think the check thing was Lisa being like, I'm softening to you a little bit. Like, she likes to do those, like, little bullying things with her friends. So I can see it happening. If we can get LVP back on Beverly Hills, no Teddy, and they had time, I think we would have a reconciliation. And I agree. I want it so bad just to piss Teddy off.
Yep. It would be brilliant.
Not well, bitch.
BravoCon is almost here, and I swear to God, I cannot risk getting a breakout. Okay. They have ruined many events of mine. The breakouts around my chin were especially prominent about 2 months ago, but Apostrophe is sponsoring the pod, and they have kind of changed my skin. Apostrophe is an online platform that connects you with an expert dermatology team to get customized acne treatment for your unique skin. Through Apostrophe, you can get access to oral and topical medications that use clinically proven ingredients to help clear up acne. Simply fill out one of those online consultations about your skin goals and your medical history, then snap a few selfies, and a dermatology provider will create your customized treatment plan. Apostrophe offers access to prescription treatments for all types of acne, from hormonal acne to facial acne, and even back, chest, and butt acne. So I had already been using tretinoin, but they sent me tretinoin and azelaic acid. I'd never even heard of azelaic acid, but this stuff is better. Look it up. But it's just because I filled out the online form and they looked at the results and they looked at my skin, because you send in selfies, and they build a customized plan for you. We have a special deal for our audience. Get your first visit for only $5 at apostrophe.com/SheSpeaks when you use our code SheSpeaks. That's a savings of $15. This code is only available to our listeners. To get started, just go to apostrophe.com/SheSpeaks and click Get Started. Then use our code SheSpeaks at sign up and you'll get your first visit for only $5. Thank you so much, Apostrophe, for sponsoring this episode.
The rumors, the nastiness about her.
Okay, let's get into the actual episode. Let's go over taglines, though. Okay, Garcelle's. I may act for a living, but I never fall for a bad performance. I don't hate that one. I just need to know who she's talking about. I'm going to guess Erica.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Right? Sutton, just very Sutton. Who needs a knight in shining armor when you have your own horse?
I hated it at first, but then it like grew on me. I really did. I was like, because I don't know, like when how she said it, like I don't know.
I don't like how she said it either. Their delivery of the lines actually. It's also same with Potomac. When I read the Potomac taglines, I liked them, but then when I heard the execution, I was like, oh, not as good.
Right. I just like the horse was so like a horse. I'm like, oh,
your own horse.
I have a horse. Like,
yeah. But then Erica's is so tone deaf. The best part about losing everything is getting it all back.
Talking about the earrings.
If it's not about that, then it's a period in general, girl. You shouldn't be getting it, quote, all back, because a lot of what you had was stolen.
Yeah,
you know,
she's still like not grasping.
We will get into her shit because I have. Okay, okay. Dorit's. Fashion is my language, and I speak it fluently. So safe. Just a really safe tagline.
Yeah, it was very safe.
Yeah, no real opinion, not letting us know too much.
I think I was really disappointed with all the taglines up until I think you're about to start getting to some good ones.
Oh.
I think.
Crystals, they say wisdom comes with age, but I'm proving otherwise.
No, I didn't like that one. Maybe not that one.
The new girl, Anne Marie, I may put you to sleep for a living, but I always keep one eye open.
I like that one. That's fun.
It's okay.
That one's fun.
But Kyle's is just horrendous to me. It's hard to outrun rumors, but luckily I'm in better shape than ever. And I was like, okay, this is really going to piss me off her fucking fitness journey. So I am glad that I didn't hate it as much once I saw it like on the screen, but I was like, you better shut up. Okay? You better shut up right now. That's the end of them.
I don't know, but like now that she is on her fitness journey, like when we get to that part when with her and Dorit, like I just couldn't help them. Like, are you gonna eat? Are you like, what are you gonna eat? Like,
that's all I wondered too. The pizza. She's not touching the pizza.
I was like, no one's touching the pizza. She was. I felt like she was like, everyone's gonna wonder if I'm gonna eat, and I felt like she was forcing herself to eat the salad on camera. She didn't seem like she was enjoying it at all. Mm-hmm. And we've seen Kyle eat. I know that bitch enjoys food. Mm-hmm. Like she looked so disinterested in that salad.
Mm-hmm. And it made me unhappy about it. I'm like, I always stare at what people eat.
Yeah. I felt like Dorit really wanted to eat that pizza, but she's like,
she did.
But I felt she was like, she knew that Kyle couldn't eat it. And she was like, it's going to draw attention that she's not eating it, but I really did want this pizza.
Yeah, no.
I made it.
I'm rewatching and recapping season 10, the Denise Brandy season. And when they're in Rome, they get a basket of bread at the beginning of like the dinner. And everyone has to have it's such a big deal. Everyone's like, are you going to have the bread? I'm going to have the bread. I like to have bread. Sometimes I have bread. It's just like all over the place. So eating disorders abound.
I feel like the eating thing is going to be like, it's like we were all like looking at Crystal. Like, I don't like this. Everybody's thing this season is going to be interesting.
Everybody has an eating thing on this show. Well, not everybody. That's a sweeping generalization. I'll be watching what Eric is eating. That's for damn sure.
What did she say? Hormones?
I can't. Like, we'll get into it. Okay, so we open with the season trailer that we've already seen. And then we get Dorit and PK. He's eating chips. And honestly, she hates him. I can feel it. She's like, you fucking asshole. Eagle Woman and Blue Raven come over, which PK must make fun of them for. Do I call you Eagle or do I call you Woman? I'm like, PK, these are indigenous people. Okay? Be careful, dude.
Yes.
All right. Believe it or not, he's such a colonizer. PK is such a colonizer on every level.
I don't know if he's like just used to like I'm not gonna make any excuses for him because it's just idiotic. But like I don't know if he's just used to these like Beverly Hills people like the like the shaman, fake shaman. Like not everybody's fake, but like you know what I mean. And he's just like it's deciding it's a silly thing that Dorit's doing. I'm like, be careful.
And Dorit is rightfully afraid of what he's going to say.
Yeah, and
they're just tolerating him. But as soon as Eagle Woman says Vision Quest, I was like, oh dear, you're gonna do what now with these women? But okay, we'll try it. I just like I like that Dorit is just fully leaned into it. Like she's like, I don't care. I don't fucking care how weird it may sound. Okay, because I had a near-death experience and I still maintain that for her it was real. Yes. But I think PK set it up. And she was too on the wrong because it his fear and all that stuff didn't last very long because now he's like annoyed that she has PTSD.
Yes,
and I
feel like that's where I'm comfortable settling on.
Yeah, that he planned because they'd already had one big burglary a couple seasons prior, and then here's another one. It was like
I feel like it did happen. For her. But I feel like PK knows that there was actually no threat because he set it up. Mm-hmm. And he's like wanting it to all blow over now.
He's like, can we just get over it already? God, okay. You didn't die. That kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's a very chic looking retreat. It was like whoever set it up. I'm like, okay. Chicest retreat I've ever seen. I love Garcelle's red hair. I think I do too. Perfect. Isn't that a perfect color on her? It complements everything. I think love it.
I think it's really nice. I really like it.
Kyle comes in. I like her energy because usually Kyle likes to fake it for people because she doesn't want to not have allies and stuff. Mm-hmm. But she's like a different person walking in. And I think that's what I'm enjoying.
I think that, like I said at the top, I think that she is completely in her new era, and she's just unwilling to BS anything anymore, even if it was with Mauricio or the girls or her sister.
Sutton talks about how she just bought a horse in the Netherlands.
Sorry.
And says he can pull a carriage. I really do want to see them riding down Rodeo in that. I do. I love it. Give it to me. Erica's frighteningly thin confessional with the big blonde hair. She's got the gold the gold corset with the big, but she's just so small.
Yeah.
Like it is just unnatural looking on her. So that's why it feels like when I see Kyle, it doesn't look unnatural on her.
No.
It looks like she's just on point, right? With her workouts and stuff.
And the thing is, there's a difference between being thin and being in shape. Mm-hmm. And Kyle does look like she's not only thin, she's very toned. Like
her
she's
arms,
very
her
toned.
butt.
So it's like I can see the complete difference in so it doesn't Kyle looks healthy. Mm-hmm. Erica, like, again, I'm not saying that she doesn't. It's just doesn't fit her frame.
It's just shocking. It's shocking. And I know we've seen pictures of her when she was younger, and she was like a very naturally like,
yeah.
You know, like the 80s, like when you look back on like 80s movies, people were all really thin. It just like it just like that's what the look was, right?
Mm-hmm.
This just looks like 10 pounds thinner than maybe she should be comfortably.
Yes.
And
yes,
I hate commenting on women's weight, but you know, she's like throwing it in her face. It's like, what? Hormones. I'm like, I know you're trying to say that you had your hormones regulated because you're going through menopause and that regulation helped. But like, I know personally, because I have older friends and even my own mom, like they were on hormone regulation things and they didn't lose that much weight.
I think it's what Dorit spelled out in her confessional, but whatever.
Whatever. Again, I hate doing that, but it's just like, don't just say hormones. It's just so, because it's like she's taunting us. She's like, hormones. I also look it up. Everyone should be on hormones.
I also, you know what? I also wouldn't be mad at her if she was like, hey, it's my body. I don't want to discuss how I lost weight.
There you go.
I think that that's completely fair too. I think it's because she keeps like it's like Tom got attacked by a burglar, his car flipped.
Yes.
It's those types. It's when she starts like telling like these tales.
Yes.
Then we're forced to like be like,
then you want to speculate. You're right.
Yeah, we're like, well, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
However, like, your body, your choice, girlfriend. Do what you want to do. Like, I don't give a fuck.
There you go. You're so right.
But it's just, yeah, like,
it's
like,
when
I'm
she
not
feeds
stupid.
us the bullshit. She
I'm
feeds
not
us the bullshit, and we were like, we got to go in and start investigating and dissecting.
Yeah, and I don't want to do that because it
don't
isn't.
Make me.
I don't want it. That's you do you, girl.
Yes, it's that exactly. But she says as she's walking in her confessional, I'm like a man on my own island. My friend is gone. And then they show the email from Lisa on September 10th, 2022 that says, I will not be renewing my contract and I will not be coming back to RHOBH. Thank you so much for 8 years. All the best, Lisa. I still to this day don't give a shit if she quit or got fired. I don't. I'm just happy she's gone.
Well, the thing is, so from what I've been hearing, I don't know if maybe you posted this too. So yes, she technically did send that letter like right after wrapping. But then she decided she did, from what I'm hearing,
That's what I've heard too.
Yeah, she did want to come back. And she was like, actually, never mind. I will come back.
And
but then at that point, they were like, actually, no, I think it is for the best that you just be put on pause or you don't come back or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. So like I think she was a little like, I don't even know if that was like real, like in her head, like she was like, maybe it was a tactic she was using, to like leverage more money.
Yeah.
And it blew up in her face. But from what I hear, she did at some point want to come back and was told no.
Yep, that's what I've heard too, and we're gonna go with that. Blue Raven and Eagle Woman start the drumming. And they're all, look, I was surprised they participated as well as they did and didn't like laugh because I would have been jarred. Like, wait, we're really doing this? Like, we're really slow walking to this like teepee?
Don't invite me to shit like that. I'm going to be honest with you. I can't.
I'm tapped out with that shit.
My ADD, I am not a meditator. I can't handle it. I'm going to fidget. I'm being inappropriate. And I don't want to do that. So don't invite me to shit like that.
Yeah, don't. I had my new agey phase, but it worked in this group, though, I will say, because they went with it and because it was like, let's address what happened last season, as opposed to what normally happens, which is let's all have a gathering, like a party at someone's house, and pretend nothing happened.
Yes.
So I appreciated that they were even addressing it.
Yeah, I felt. I that's a really good point, Emily, because we needed to talk about, there's a lot of like heavy shit that happened and that went down in that reunion.
Yeah.
I don't even think any of them hung out after that reunion. It was so intense. So to go, and most of these people, it's very clear that they haven't really been speaking to each other since. So to like have to be together all the time and not readdress it is odd.
Agreed. So Dorit says, I'll go first. Because she wants everyone to whatever. And she says to Erica, I was very hurt by you. I feel like it was mean-spirited and deeply hurt. I was deeply hurt. Erica's face, I'm telling you guys, Erica has a meeting with her attorneys ahead of every season, and it's like, what tactic are we taking?
Yeah.
So, because last season she was accused of not having any empathy, she's leaning into that at the top of the season so that her story arc is going to be that she finds her empathy by the end of the season.
Yes.
And we already know she had this event with some of the victims of Tom Girardi, and it was filmed. So that's her like season finale.
Yeah.
So she's like leaning fully in because she likes Dorit. They're friends.
Yeah.
And Erica, you've shown compassion for your friends even through all of this. You've shown excitement for when it first happened, when you first left Tom, which I'm going to make a compilation of what she said after she first, quote, left Tom. That was a period of time where you were still very supportive of your friends and very kind. But now she has to come back in with no friends besides, no one. Like she's on bad terms with everyone. So she had to come up with a tactic.
Yeah.
To like make an excuse for it. So the way she's like staring at her all cold, and she says, I didn't want to answer the question. But they show a flashback, and honestly, all the flashback does is prove that she was being shady and wanted to be egged on by the audience.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want to say I feel bad. Well, obviously they're going to fucking ask, well, who?
Yeah.
And then Dorit goes, you delivered that answer like someone who really wanted attention. And I was like, yes, Dorit. You tell her, bitch.
Thank you, Dorit. You finally got out of hibernation.
And then fucking Erica, Dorit, I'm a showman.
Okay.
I gave those people what they wanted. Okay. Dorit's impression of what Erica did in her confessional, it's incredible. She's like, and then she turned around, and then she walked up, and then she said, Dorit and PK, and then turned around, and she says, that's not a showman, that's a bitch.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Dorit kicking off the season right.
And she's in full Chanel.
And I like that look a lot. I like
I
the
do
headband.
too.
I love it.
I was like, if anybody else was wearing this, I think I would be like, this is so, like, tacky. She like, oh god, I love it. I love when Dorit brings me her freaking looks.
She nailed it. Erica then coldly stares. She's coldly staring, and Dorit goes, I honestly thought you were going to lead with an apology rather than defending it. It's not a defense. It's just an explanation of how it went down. It was a shady question, and I gave a shady answer. Dorit, is your marriage strong?
Like, what if it wasn't? What she just said no right then and there.
Those are fighting words, bitch.
Like,
Sutton's confessional about the rumor of PK being in the car with another woman. How do you think she's really heard that?
it was just so, I had just never heard it.
Ever,
and it was just, it was such a like random thing to say. So I want to be like, why, which I don't want to say that she's lying, but like, cause I'm like, why would you lie? I'm confused of why she would lie on him. So I'm like, so did you?
Who told you that though, Sutton? Because Sutton can be messy. Like, I know we liked her last season, but like, I still maintain that like I may not love everything Sutton does. That's just like, I'm not a slutton.
Listen, I think it was you who said this. If Sutton's going to say this, I think that she cannot backtrack, and she needs to like, when Dorit
lean all the way in.
Yeah, when Dorit does hear this or confronts her about it, she can't backpedal. Stand in it and say where you heard it and why you said it.
I hope they like save it for BravoCon and talk about it at the panel.
Okay, yeah. When is that again?
Next weekend.
Oh, oof. Are you ready?
Oh, girl, that's why I'm in darkness. I got the chemical peel 3 days ago. I'm getting a spray tan on Tuesday. Nails are done. I'm on a crash diet, very toxic crash diet that I can't really stick to, but I keep saying I'm on a crash diet. Yeah, I'm ready. I got outfits picked out.
Outfits. Oh, honey.
Outfits picked out.
I am jealous. Tell that bitch Teddy I said what's up.
She's gonna if she recognizes me, she's gonna confront me, I'm sure.
I hope she does, because she's going to look like a loser.
I will film it, too. I will pull my phone out and record her like the Karen that she is.
Can you just put me on FaceTime and I can read her ass?
Yes. I'm like, hold on 1 second. Pia, go.
I've been waiting for this.
That would be so fun.
Shut up! That is so stupid.
When I started this podcast, I certainly did not think that my Shopify experience of building an online store would translate, but then we needed a merch store and we used an outside company at first, and we're just not happy with the design and the lack of control of the design. So I said, let's go back to Shopify. Shopify is your no excuses business partner. You sell without needing to code or design, just bring your best ideas and Shopify will help you open up shop. Shopify makes it easy for you to show up exactly the way you want to. You customize your online store to your style with gorgeous, flexible templates and powerful tools. And you don't have to just sell your own stuff anymore. With Shopify Collective, you can curate products to sell from the brands you love, which gives your customers more variety and your business more sales. Also, grow your average order value with Shopify Bundles. That's the app where you can create and sell product bundles with ease. One of the most amazing tools is Shopify Magic. You can whip up captivating content that converts, from blog posts to product descriptions, generate instant frequently asked question answers, pick the perfect email send time. Plus, Shopify Magic's free for every Shopify seller. And once you start selling, Shopify makes getting paid simple by instantly accepting every type of payment. And Shopify grows with your business, no matter how far or how big you grow, thanks to an endless list of integrations and third-party apps. Anything you can think of, from on-demand printing to accounting to chatbots, everything you need to revolutionize your business. Do you want marketing made simple? Shopify removes the guesswork with built-in tools that help you create, execute, and analyze your online marketing campaigns. Running a growing business means getting the insights you need wherever you are. Shopify's single dashboard, you can manage orders, shipping, and payments from literally anywhere. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US, and Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. The best part is Shopify's support is so amazing. They are really, truly helpful and there for you at all times. They never said I was stupid, and I know they were thinking it. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/shespeaks, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/shespeaks now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/shespeaks. I love that. Doris says, it doesn't matter. Look, I went through a challenging year. You're hurting, and so you lash out and you're mean-spirited. So then Erica's like, now it's time for my monologue. We all hurt each other's feelings in this group. She starts crying. Cue the tears. I was getting hit from all sides, and I just needed a moment to catch my breath in this group. She's like, anybody? Anybody? No? Okay. But as your friend, I'd like to apologize if I was rough, if I was vicious. I've never felt so low. I've never felt so unheard. I love you all, and I'm very sorry. Fucking Kyle gets up and hugs her. I'm like, are you buying that? You're buying that?
Kyle,
sit down. She's like, oh my God, I feel your pain. I'm like, that was thank God for Garcelle, Crystal, and Sutton just being like, okay. I'm not indulging that.
No, actions, baby. We'll TBD. We'll figure if this is real. She's just so funny. Erica is such a 1920s, 30s actor.
Yes,
she has
silent screen star,
or just the way her diction is. It's very of the time of how they all had to speak. And you can just tell she watched a lot of old-timey movies.
And it got really bad when she started doing Broadway, because that's the season with the Denise Brandy thing. And I'm rewatching it and remembering she was unhinged. She was full Broadway. She's like, how exciting for Lisa Rinna to plan this trip to Rome, my favorite city, before I'm whisked off to Broadway. I'm not exaggerating. I'm actually under-exaggerating, okay? She's crazy, guys. She's been playing a part for a long time.
Yeah, she's been playing a part since the moment she came on screen. I don't think we've ever seen a real Erica.
Okay.
Since she's been on.
But she's a great villain, so I do appreciate her villaining.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
that's why, I mean, even like it was hard for me because I'm
Yes.
like morally, I was like, should she be on this show?
I know.
And then, but I'm like, she is such a good villain.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like, what's her name from Salt Lake City? I'm like, get her out of here.
Jen?
Jen. Like, she's not
Bye.
even a good, she's not a good villain.
No,
That's not a
she's
good
not.
villain.
No.
She's not a good villain.
Mm-mm. Agreed. Thank you for comparing that because not the same.
Yeah.
Kyle then gets into her stuff and she's like, we never had issues before, but the Kathy stuff got between us. And she says, I looked up, and she meant at the reunion, and I wanted some people to go up to me or something because I felt like I was drifting out to sea. And in Kyle's confessional, she specifies Dorit and Sutton. She was the most disappointed in them because they were all friends and were saying things behind like closed doors in support of her. But then she says, Sutton probably wants to be friends with Kathy for the parties. And I'm like, you're probably not wrong, actually.
I mean, yeah, I think 100%. But also, I'm a little confused on why she, and I know she kind of clarified a little bit on Watch What Happens Live that they were, you know, saying stuff off camera and then not on. But Kyle and Sutton had a really bad season.
I had a really bad season. And
I just don't know why Kyle had an expectation for loyalty from Sutton when she was quite literally not like the villain to Sutton last season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why she felt like Sutton owed her a damn thing at this reunion. Maybe who was the other person she was disappointed in?
Dorit.
Okay, and that's not making sense for me either because Dorit was. I could have swore during the break this bitch was practically holding her. Mm-hmm. Like, what is she? What else?
Well,
did
they
she
wanted
need?
her. It's what's so sad is that when I watched it, I felt bad for Kathy because Kyle is not like telling Rinna, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, my sister didn't do that. Shut the fuck up. She's just letting Rinna go and go and go and then just being like, guys, stop when they go back and forth. And that's where Kathy's like, I'm good. Kyle still doesn't see that she doesn't have her sister's back or
right.
Kim's. She still doesn't get it. She's still harboring a lot of like childhood resentment.
Yeah.
And so like her kooky sisters, they are kooky. Kim and Kathy, they probably quote embarrassed her a lot. And she like still holds on to that like very childish social nerves, you know, because remember how she was treating Kathy in Aspen?
Yes.
Like anything Kathy said, she was kind of like, oh, whatever, Kathy, and like kind of leaving her out.
She was rude.
Stuff. But like she hasn't healed her own shit from childhood. And it's like you can have those conversations with them so that you can get past that and appreciate their kookiness as opposed to finding it like embarrassing or whatever. Because all that stuff was even before the big rant that Kathy had.
And again, I think that for me, when I was like, I think I defended Kathy a lot last season, I was so disgusted on how Kyle let all of her friends like Erica and Rinna be so mean to Kathy on that trip before the rant. So I was like, for me, I feel like Kathy had just had it. Like, so I was like, she was like, that was, I still don't know what she said.
We still don't know what she said exactly.
But, you know, from what I saw, I was like, I could see someone being at a certain boiling point after a while. Mm-hmm. But I just think that Kyle, in my opinion, needs to stop allowing like other people to interfere in her sister's relationship because there's such a complicated relationship and it's so nuanced. And I think that Rinna kept putting herself in that relationship that I thought Dorit was doing a really good job of trying to like be supportive of Kyle but not interfere too much. And that's what Kyle needs to start appreciating is that the non-interference from friends.
Yeah. Garcelle says, look, I felt for you, but I was also confused by you because you weren't going for the people who were coming for your family. And then they show the flashback that they use is from that finale party where Erica is like, your sister had a freak out at a public place and there are consequences to that. And Kyle goes, but you're only hurting me, just so you know. And Erica says, your sister is doing this to you. And fucking unhinged Rinna. That's right. That's right. Your sister is doing this. That's right. That's right. Your sister. Like, oh, you just turned your mic off, I think, Pia.
I did. That got me riled up. Sorry. It's like thank you. I'm so happy we do not have Rinna because she literally that clip alone it just was just insufferable. And the thing is, if it wasn't for Rinna, I don't know if I would have rode so hard for Kathy last season because Rinna was just so overpowering that all I could do was focus on how insane she was being, that I could care less of what even Kathy could have possibly said because it was just too much. So yeah, I'm with Garcelle, and I'm I don't think Kyle gives Erica and Rinna enough smoke. It's annoying.
But then Kyle's confessional I was like, oh, interesting. She goes, why is Garcelle not getting that my sister created all of this by coming for my family and for me? Again, we don't know exactly what Kathy said.
Right.
And I really wish we could find out. I know we never will because I know that's never coming out on camera. Because it clearly hit a big nerve. Whatever Kathy said was that's fucked up for her to say. And maybe because it's riddled in some truth.
Yeah.
Who knows? Oh, look at Penn.
I'm about to put him up in a minute.
Hi, Penn. He's like, hi. He wants to participate. Ask him what he thinks about it.
He's like, I hate that bitch Rinna too. Don't get me started on
He's
Teddy.
like, I'm so glad that she... Of course Penn would. Oh my God. Anyone not watching can't see how cute this is. All Penn is doing is just existing as a dog, but it's just cute. She's like, I'm not a punching bag. I don't feel like I didn't feel like defending someone who hurt me repeatedly, so I kept my mouth shut. I feel like we are missing something.
Yeah.
Outside of what she said in her rant, which Kathy apologized for. And then Kyle brings up Kathy calling her a lot to yell and rant on her or whatever.
Hold on, let me just put him up.
I know. I don't want him to go though.
Sorry about that, guys.
That was so cute. That was the cutest.
He was sleeping. I didn't want to disturb him earlier, but then he woke up from his nap.
Oh yeah, he's like, "Hey, I'm here." So Kyle says that when Kathy calls, it gives her anxiety because she's Kathy yells at her or something. I couldn't tell though because when she said it to Kathy last season, she said, "You call me to rant." Now I'm like, when you say rant, is it ranting about stuff that she's done or is it just bitching about things in general? Because I don't know why that's a problem. But she says it gives me anxiety I'm a kid, I'm a child. And I'm like, I really hope you're in therapy then because you should be working through some of those things because it's not all on Kathy.
Yeah, that's my whole thing is I guess I'm really trying to see it from Kyle's perspective, but I feel like Kyle doesn't take any ownership in what role she may play in how her sisters might feel about her. And I feel like it's a very I'm the victim. It's all done to me. So then it makes me not want to have empathy for her because I'm like, well, you don't even take any ownership of what you could have possibly be doing in this. So then it makes me think are you even do I even believe that this is what you're saying if you can't even see your part in it? I don't know.
Yeah, there isn't an ounce of self-reflection. I realize that I am holding on to a lot of stuff that I need to work through. So I'm taking a break. Yeah. That's a little better than I'm not a punching bag. I'm like, we watched you treat your sister pretty shitty. So it's really hard for me to see how it's just Kathy. Yeah,
the way her her and Kim's relationship, again, I think I was kind of more so on, I think at the time more so on Kyle's side because it was easier to be on her side because Kim was so erratic and had clear issues. But watching it back, I see it a little differently and I'm like, I didn't really like the way that Kyle handled the situation with her sister a lot of the times. So I'm like, and it always resonates. I always think about the moment when Kim is like, Kathy would never do this to me. She would be a real sister to me. So I feel like I feel like Kathy has said that similar things to Kyle, and I kind of see these little things that they're talking about where Kyle is more willing to go along with her friends and allow her and take her friend's side, and than her families, and I feel like they don't feel that she's loyal.
I agree. All right, then Sutton's scene with her new like property manager or whatever and Jennifer Tilly. She had a cute rapport with all of them. Like Jennifer Tilly and Avi were funny because Jennifer like makes fun of how Sutton's annoying to work for, and then Avi's like, "Are you taking applications?" And she's like, "Oh, because you want to get out of here." Like I love that. Like that. That works for me very much because Sutton can then be difficult and then can take a joke when the person is like, "Really, Sutton?" She's like, "Okay, well." Like that works for me. That's good.
Yeah.
Santos is her horse's name. But then she talks about how she wants to be successful because she wants, I certainly didn't realize that when she met her husband, she was equally successful, but then stopped working to raise the kids and therefore then became like dependent on his allowance. But then she goes, but I'm not giving up that spousal support. Which is $300,000 a month.
Listen, I respected the shit.
300.
Like I respected the shit out of Sutton for just being a real bitch and being like, I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna like. Yes, as much as I want to be successful and do my own thing and show everyone I can make my own money. You think I'm gonna like willingly give up that money? That's just dumb. Like,
what is that a year? 300,000.
I think someone did the math and it's like $3 million or something like that.
Okay,
a year.
See. Oh my God, 3 million, 3.6 a year.
That's passive income, baby.
She's making that money in her sleep.
She's doing this show. She's like Heather Dubrow. She's doing this show for a hobby. She don't need this show. So everybody needs to stop disrespecting Sutton because she can leave whenever she wants. She does not need this fucking check.
Amazing. Okay, Erica's therapy session.
You know how I feel about on TV therapy.
And also that you recognize that therapist, right?
No.
Oh, she's like the go-to she was the go-to VH1 therapist for like a decade. She's like
really?
She's like Dr. Drew.
Okay.
So it totally makes sense that she would be taking on Erica Jane and doing on-camera therapy sessions. I know. But they flash to last season's therapy session, and Erica's there saying, like, I'm turning into someone mean. That's not who I want to be. Cut to her being like a robot. She's gone full robot this season. Full empathy needs to be explained to her. Empathy. Okay.
It was such a bad acting job. It was such a. What is empathy? How does one get empathy? Tell me. Like,
girl,
God.
Okay. They get into Tom being indicted. And Erica says, even though I'm not on the indictment, people still think I've done something wrong. And then they cut around to like Sutton and Garcelle and Crystal and Rob talking about it. I'm like, good. Keep talking about it. Okay.
I really did appreciate those inserts because again, she keeps missing the point. Like
always.
Let's go with you had fucking no idea, right? You know now. And knowing now, still the way you spoke about them was horrendous. So what is your excuse? So like that's the thing that you're not getting. And you keep excusing how you acted because so many people are coming at you. But okay, then talk shit about us. Stop talking shit about the victims. I can fully accept that. If I'm talking shit about you, you talk shit about me, that's fine. Stop talking shit about the victims.
Then Erica gets into Tom probably passing soon-ish, and the therapist's like, you'll be in a whole new stage of grief. And the therapist says, look, as long as you're not mixing alcohol and Lexapro, you'll be good. Which I was like, ooh, that was a read. But Erica gets like defensive and she goes, well, I'm off Lexapro. I'm like, okay, maybe just not drink as much. But then she brings up Dorit being upset with her and that whole bullshit about how does one get empathy? How do I feel bad? And I legit thought the therapist was going to have something like innovative to say, but instead she literally just explains what empathy is. And Erica's like processing as if it's a new concept. She's like, okay, yeah, for them. And now she's doing this weird shit with her lips, the way she like holds her mouth. You know, I'm always fixated on that. It's a sign of deceit when people like, she has like, for them. She like holds her mouth real weird. I'm like, bitch, you are lying. You know what fucking empathy is.
She knows what it is. And the thing is, she I think the one thing Teddy said that I was like, okay, on Watch What Happens Live is like when they asked her. Yeah. Yeah, she was like, I've seen her have empathy towards me. So, like, I feel like she just didn't answer the question. It didn't make her look good.
Which was a nice shady, like, roundabout way, or sneaky, not shady, but like sneaky way of saying like that was an act.
Yeah.
That was a complete bullshit act and bullshit scene. Because, like, she's openly admitted that she's empathetic.
Yeah.
Like, she said it multiple, like, get out, okay? The therapist goes, why don't you try to take the high road? You've done low, let's try high. And again, I feel like that was a read. Like, America's like, okay, I'm not going to have you do this again on camera.
Is she trying to get casted?
Yeah, totally.
A friend of?
Dorit gets ready for Kyle coming over. And once again, PK thinks it's funny that he doesn't eat salads. She's like, you want a bite of a salad? He's like, I had all these salads earlier. You missed it. I'm like, you have diabetes, dude, purely from your bad diet. You have 2 children.
Yes. Small children, too.
Yes.
And he has other children, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Right?
Yeah, he does.
That's right. Wow, we never, ever hear about them.
No.
How old are they? Do we remember?
I think they're grown. I've seen them.
Oh, they are grown.
I've
okay.
served
Well, I'm gonna look it up right now because I need to remember. In addition to Jagger and Phoenix, PK welcomed 3 children: son Daniel and daughters Atlanta and Tatum. Wow. Okay, how old? All right, whatever. We'll get into that later. Wow, 3. We never hear about them.
Yes.
Okay, well, interesting. PK, which is something I hate when people do this. When Kyle comes in, he jokes, I have non-alcoholic gin for you. And I'm assuming he meant it like, I have gin for you to drink. And I'm just like, it's like so stupid. Like, let her. And that's when Kyle does her confessional. I'm 7 months off alcohol. I did not like my behavior last year. And then they show those flashbacks of Garcelle's party, and it's like, yeah, dude, it was bad. She was also like doing the splits in the middle of the floor, like on the dance floor, like coochie on the dance floor, and and Garcelle was like, okay, Mauricio, do you want to come get your woman? Like, it was absolutely probably a low point for her.
Yeah.
And so she made a change, and I was like, okay, I can get behind this. I can actually get behind this. I thought it was just going to be about like wanting to look better, but
I thought so too. But no, like, I mean, I think that's great that she looked at her behavior last season, and I'm sure, like, I don't think that she has a problem or anything like that. I don't think that's why she's doing it. But like, if you are mentally not in a right place and then mixing that with alcohol, you are not probably going to look good.
I like that it's just Dorit and Kyle actually in this scene and not their husbands too. I feel like so often when we get scenes with these two, they have their husbands there.
Yeah.
And like, I don't need to see them anymore.
I'm wondering also, that's a good point. I'm wondering if we will ever see them this season do that again, because I feel like they had such, like, from that infamous sit down that they had where they were, making light of what Erica did to Garcelle's son. And it did not bode well. And I'm wondering if they're like, let's just be, when they get together, sometimes it's too much and we can't have another season.
And they also had the problem too, where they were making fun of Tom and getting the surgery on the ankle and stuff. So like anytime they get together, it just goes bad.
Yeah. I think that they're like, maybe this season we don't do that.
We don't do that anymore. Kyle's update on Kathy is that she saw Kathy at Sutton's holiday party. But I'm at the point where I'm not going to take it from anybody because I didn't do one fucking thing to deserve Kathy coming for me. Again, we don't know what the fuck Kathy said. Part of me thinks it had something to do with Mauricio.
I kind of think so too. I think
because
that Kathy
added to her resentment towards Mauricio, like, and then he like makes me defend him, and you know what I mean?
I think that, they notoriously weren't speaking for a long time because they felt betrayed by Mauricio when he left, Kathy's husband's firm or whatever it's called. And so I'm sure Kathy probably just was like, and that bum, you wouldn't have shit if it wasn't for us giving him a job.
I'm assuming it's something like that because it feels like it all kind of ties in.
Yeah.
And Kyle says it's basically Kathy is used to no one telling her anything. And as the baby sister, I didn't ever want to speak up to my big sister. But enough is enough. I just wish she would add, I had to look at my part in it too.
Yes, that's
just
the issue.
Do that part.
It's like, yeah, it's like I want to, especially since there's no Kathy, it's easier for me to listen to her. But just, yeah, she just threw in. I also played even if it's just a tiny part in it, because
I played a part in it. I'm going to look at that.
So again, like I said, on that trip, you were being kind of rude to your sister, picking on your sister. If she could even say, I know I was kind of being probably a little mean and a little bullyish and like kind of got cliquey with my friends, but the way in which she came back at me did not match what I did.
There we go.
Boom.
I'm on board. There we go. Dorit goes, I understand. I had a hard year too because of the PTSD. And my husband, who's supposed to be there for me, was spending all of this time in London. And for the first time, I worried that maybe we wouldn't make it. And then Kyle goes, I've had those thoughts. Or like,
I just kind of like how we have two, like, we thought it was going to be just the Kyle Mauricio thing that we're going to watch. Yep. And then we got this sneak attack of Dorit and PK. I was like, okay. And also was Kyle like, this is my fucking storyline. Like,
I like
don't you do that, Dorit.
Dorit's saying, like, it was just this period of time where, like, he wasn't there. And Kyle fills in and goes, you wanted more from him. And he wasn't capable of doing it at the time. I'm like, oh, she is speaking from experience. Like, yeah, this woman is.
Yeah, I think a lot of the deep-seated resentment from the things that Mauricio was, like, whether it was true or not, she had to deal with it and defend him a lot. And I think that she's kind of, like, she's just over it. She's over it. She's at her capacity, and she's speaking her truth.
And there have been, now that I go back and remember some things, there have been some examples of when Mauricio like kind of didn't really want to make a lot of time for Kyle. Like when it was season 10, it opens with or she calls Mauricio because he's throwing like a big agency party. And she's like, Love Bean, talk to me. And he's like, oh, well, let's do shots. Oh, sorry, babe. Sorry. Kind of like not really focusing.
Yeah.
And then there's like, I think in that same season or maybe this next season, they have like an anniversary party scene, not party, but anniversary like moment, just the two of them. And she's trying to have like a whole cheesy, like, can you believe we're still together or whatever? And he's like so stoned that he's just like giggling at nothing. And she's like, Mauricio, I'm trying to have a moment. So I think then she stops drinking.
Yes.
And then gets, a lot more clear. And she's like, I've been putting up with fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
From this man because and there's also a couple scenes too where she goes to Mauricio's office when like some of her daughters are there that like work there. And she's like, I hate it because we never see each other. Like we never see each other. And he's like, it's okay. Like it's not a big deal to him. He's like, you're working a lot. I'm working a lot. And she's like, I know, but we're a family. I want us to see each other. Yeah. And he seems totally okay with it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think that the drinking, that's a really good point. In the clarity you get when you, and it like, and he's still like having fun, getting high probably, and drinking, and it's just kind of like the PK thing. Like sometimes I think when people stop drinking, people don't know how to like act with people. Like they can't, like they don't know like how to be with people. I'm like, you don't have we're sitting down. You don't have to have a drink. Like, do you like me? We can have a conversation.
Yeah. And when you take alcohol, because like I hate admitting this, but one of my really, really good friends for like 15 years, when I quit drinking, I was like, oh, I haven't really paid attention to just how you are when I'm totally sober. And it was like, it was a hard thing to face, but I was like, was our main thing just getting drunk? Like, did we really not have a lot of other shit to talk about?
And that's the thing. It's like, that's when you start really like, do we even like each other? Or do we like to, like, we're not even really a present when we're drunk. We're like, it's interesting.
Yeah. Okay, before we get into that stuff though, Garcelle goes to the beach with her boys.
I have some opinions on that.
Okay. Like kids are fucking assholes, okay?
I did not
fucking little punks.
I did not like that. I did not like that conversation. I thought that man,
he took advantage.
That little boy was disrespectful throughout that whole conversation, and I feel like Garcelle really, I don't know, I would have like had to cut the cameras because if he wasn't about to, that little boy would have got torn up because torn the fuck up.
I would have to cut the cameras. Okay, guys, camera down. I need to smack my kid around.
Yeah, like that, because that out of hand, and it sounds like parental alienation. It sounds like the way he was, like how it feels like he is saying things that he's hearing from the other parent, because it's not like, first of all, he just like made something up completely. You were gone for a year. It was 3 weeks.
And he goes, 3 weeks is a year. I'm like, no, let's harp on this a little longer. It's not.
It's not at all. And that's actually
it's not even a month.
That's not even, like, that's a very normal amount of time for a parent to, like, if they work, especially.
If they work, yeah.
That's not a long time. Like, that's ridiculous that he's tried to do that and tried to act. And he said he didn't even say it in a joking way. He made it act as if that was like, I was like, Garcelle, you didn't see your son for a year? And then I'm so happy she corrected that, because
she's like, it was 3 weeks, and then he goes, well, 3 weeks is a year. I'm like, I didn't like his energy and telling me I don't need a parent anymore. Okay, that was Jade that actually said the 3 weeks thing.
Oh, it was?
Yes, the third time I watched it, I was like, oh, that wasn't even Jax. That was Jade.
Oh.
But then Jade shuts up, because then Jax is like, I got it from here.
Yeah.
Little brat. Here's the thing. Jax had that shit go down with Diana.
Yes.
Last season, right? With that whole thing, and Erica. So like, I feel, for me, it felt like he was having a moment.
Yeah.
Is that fucked up to say? It kind of felt like that. It felt like a little like, I'm the star of this family. I was like, don't you?
And I'm wondering if I'm wondering if with all of the stuff that he was getting online, like all the like the racist comments, unfortunately, if he like kind of blames Garcelle for putting him in this position.
That's what I'm thinking.
Or again, I'm completely making this up. I have no ground. It just felt like this is what I felt like when I was listening to him talk. Does the dad have an opinion? What is the dad saying about this?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. We don't get to see a lot of interaction between Garcelle and their father, so I'm just not sure what the dynamics are there. But all I know is that I felt like that child was trying to talk to her like he was some type of damn adult.
Well, because when he goes, I would like more freedom. I'm like, excuse you?
No.
You are a kid still. And every kid, by the way, says that. Every kid thinks that they're an adult. That's like a thing. So fine. But then he follows it up with, now you're trying to be a parent, but I needed that 2 years ago. Well, that would have been in 2020. During COVID. Where the hell was Garcelle going? What was she doing? She started the show. Didn't she start the show like maybe 3 years ago now?
Yeah. She said she was on it, I think, right before COVID.
The season before COVID. Okay.
So, weren't you guys at home all day? What do you mean?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I feel like Jax is like literally just making shit up at this point. I'm sorry. Like I'm not in their house, so I really don't know.
And then he said, he's like, all the things I had to learn how to do, like I taught myself that. And she goes, so are you saying I wasn't your mom then? And he says, yeah. And even Jade is like, whoa.
I know. I feel like Jade's like,
we didn't agree to go that far.
I feel like he went quiet because he was like, I don't know what is happening right now.
No, I think so too. He's like, okay, I'm not co-signing this. Like, I'm tuning the fuck out thinking about my girlfriend.
Yeah, he was like, I am just disengaging from this conversation.
I literally stopped listening. Jax is just being a dick right now. Like, I'm not even about to
No
play
more
this
filming
game.
for him for the rest of the season. He needs a timeout.
He needs a timeout, and he needs to learn some fucking respect. Because I thought Garcelle handled it brilliantly. Because she goes, cameras are fucking rolling. Okay?
Yes.
So I'm going to be fine. Because Jax becomes a complete brat. And he goes, I'm not trying to hurt you, but it needs to be said, and what needs to be said, whether it hurts or not. Like, he was like smug. He was like,
yeah,
like he kind of shrugged, and I was like, but then Garcelle holds it together and says, for the times that I wasn't there, I'm sorry. And then Jax goes, and I'm sorry too. I'm glad that both of us can admit faults from the past and mature from that.
Put him in his room and take his phone away.
Not happy.
I am not happy with this man. If he was, oh my God, if he was in my mother's house, freedom. You know how hard it was for me to do anything in high school, even when I went to college. If I came home on the weekends, I still have to ask my mom for permission to do things. Okay.
Jax is confused, okay?
I don't know what these new age children.
I know, and even
can't.
Garcelle says that. She's like, it's different now. You have to really, listen to your kids and sort of adjust your parenting based on the kid. And then they cut to her being like, okay, Jay, do you have anything to say? And he's like, about what? What are we? I actually literally wasn't listening. She goes, about anything. He goes, I miss Ashlyn. And I'm like, we needed that. We needed that. Okay. I needed like a teenager who's not dialed in. Jax is a very sensitive kid, clearly, but he's like too smart for his own good.
Yeah.
And he needs to be reminded that we've watched Garcelle be your parent. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to take away any experience from these kids at all, but he did this shit on camera.
Mm-hmm.
And that is,
You put her in a position.
Ooh.
And it's off the heels of her other son embarrassing her on a different platform.
Oh God, good point. I forgot about Oliver.
I am done with these kids They're all disrespectful. They're disrespectful, and I'm done with it. I'm gonna light them up in a minute.
Not doing it.
Garcelle, you listen.
Doing it.
You listen to your children. I'm gonna tell you, your child is disrespectful.
Disrespectful,
Okay.
Okay. We're not handling it. Okay, Kyle and Mauricio. Here's what I'm thinking happened in this moment. I think they were scheduled to film a scene together. That was like on the books that day, on the call sheet, if you will. And Kyle is like waiting to have that conversation, and Mauricio is wrapping up a call, quote unquote. And it's not like this call is, well, how much did they put an offer in on that house for? And nothing related to anything real estate. It's literally like, so you're telling me I can go to Coachella and then I can golf with so-and-so. And Kyle is just like, I'm not fucking doing this. It's just rude that you're making me sit here when we have cameras rolling and they're expecting to get a scene.
Yeah.
So she's like, how much longer? And he tries to turn around and be like, honey, I'm working. And she goes, okay, well, whenever you're done wrapping up your golf schedule, let's talk. And I was like, good for you. Good for you, you little fucker, Mauricio. God damn it. That was rude.
Oh my God. Mauricio is like,
He's
no.
fucked. He's fucked this season.
Oof.
Kyle goes back on the couch and she's like, obviously talking to producer. She's like, I can't with everything. I hate this whole day. And you know that was because she's like, we're probably an hour behind when we were supposed to start filming this scene.
Yeah.
And Mauricio, and this kind of showed me, like, don't get me wrong, Kyle was being a brat, and this was a really weird energy coming from her that it threw me off.
Yeah.
But I'm like filling in holes as I watch it. Like, she's been willing to have these scenes with Mauricio, like calling him when he's having an agency party while she's on location and he's like, oh, whatever, babe. Or like having an anniversary dinner scene where he's kind of not in the mood and like not paying attention and just pretending like it's all okay.
Right.
She's clearly not doing that anymore. But now here the cameras come on and he's like, hey, honey. Like, he walked in like it was nothing. I think he thought they were going to cut that moment of him on the phone.
Yeah, they did.
He's like, hey, honey, how you doing? I'm like, we just saw you. You didn't think they were going to put that in. Because you're probably used to getting it good at it.
Yeah, but we don't care.
We don't care anymore, buddy. And then he brings up he has to go to Portugal during Portia's spring break. Maybe we can all go. And Kyle, I can't go in that window. Even if she doesn't really have anything going on, she's like, I'm not going in that window. Okay? You can't just tell me we're going to Portugal. Got it?
You need to ask me. Like, we gonna make the decision together.
Uh-huh. And what the fuck are you going to Portugal for? What's the reason?
Yeah.
Okay. But then this is where I was kind of surprised because I didn't think we were going to get any, quote, open honesty or whatever. And she says in her confessional, first fucking scene with Mo, she says, we've had a challenging year. When you have to schedule a meeting to go over your schedule, it's a problem. I'm like, okay, if we're going to get some honesty, because that's her favorite word, then I'm not going to be too mad at it because that's always her big thing.
Yeah.
Is like, just be open and honest. But granted, we do see in the preview or in the trailers them being like, she's not being honest. She's not being honest.
With them.
With them, exactly. So I don't know how it's going to play out.
But so I'm interested if she's, in a weird way, being honest with the audience, but at that time not willing to be honest with her friends. Mm-hmm. So she's like, I'm showing them everything.
Or
like,
with the cast. How about that?
Yeah, the cast.
Mm-hmm. Not even Dorit. Because Dorit's there's that moment where they're like, I didn't know anything. But then Mauricio switches. You look amazing. Are you going to go work out right now? You look incredible. And Kyle just goes, thanks. But then they show like a montage of Kyle working out. And again, I wasn't mad at it. I was really expecting to be mad at it. But because it's painted with like she's becoming like a warrior. Like she's like, I'm not putting up with anything. I'm like, okay, I don't hate it as much as I thought I was going to.
Right. I think that we filled in the blanks before we saw anything because typically that's, would be the story. It would be kind of an obnoxious journey, but it has a nice layer of empowerment underneath it. So we can.
Ooh, that's the word.
Yeah.
A layer of empowerment underneath it. Bloop. Bloop. That was good. Bloop. Right there. Bloop. So anyway, then Mauricio goes, how many tattoos do you have? She says 5. He only knew of 3, although I think he even forgot about 1. And Kyle goes, well, maybe you should be looking at my body closer.
And
then Mauricio goes, I think that's enough, yeah? And here she's like, it looked so like bratty, like naturally I was kind of like, oh, Kyle, why are you talking like that? But she's done with
the
this
thing is,
man.
I agree with what she's actually saying, but how she was saying it turned me off from the conversation because we haven't seen the challenging yet. So this is like all of a sudden nowhere. It feels out of nowhere, and then we also have been seeing all the headlines. So we're like, we know there's a Morgan somewhere.
We know there's a Morgan.
So we're like, is this a Morgan thing? Is this why you're acting like this? So it feels like you're being cold to Mauricio and he doesn't understand why. And maybe this Morgan thing is a secret to him. And now I'm like, do I feel bad for Mauricio? But I don't think that's the case. I just think that she's just trying to figure out how to be this empowered person, but and stick up for herself. But it's coming off. It's coming off
weird. She definitely. I don't know if she's in therapy as well as just this workout. But if all she's doing is like getting up at 4 a.m. and working out and not drinking, she's missing a layer of this, which is like like getting some more emotional maturity because she really doesn't have that. She does not have emotional maturity, which is evident in the way she's like, I don't know, maybe I want to get another one.
Yeah, she was being like, I think Mauricio
taunting.
Said it. Yeah, she was taunting. I think Mauricio even said something within the conversation like, I hope you're not just being rebellious to be rebellious.
And then, but the way she fucking says, what does she say? Listen, I am very fucking clear right now. I am not rebelling. I'm just really clear. I was like, ooh.
I know. I was like, again, all of whatever Mauricio has put her through over the years in their marriage, it's coming out right now. And I'm kind of like, I can empathize with her in that way because I'm a type of person that will suppress stuff. And then that person will say something that is so small.
Yep.
And everything that I felt about all the things come up. And it does feel crazy and like you out of the blue and unwarranted. But for me, it's just been there and you didn't know.
Yep. Exactly that.
And that's not a great way to be. I've now realized that about myself. So I try my best to not do that and to be a little bit like when things bother me, say it right away so they don't fester. Because it is jarring. I'm just like unleashing on you and you just said
I have the
like
same problem.
The sky is blue today. And I'm like, everything. Everything about you. And I just black out.
So, I definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
But we are both aware of it. And I think that's where I'm like, Kyle, you're missing a step here. And like to better yourself would definitely be to like talk through some things, and owning a little bit of fault in situations and like taunting Mauricio like this is actually very toxic. As a form of communication.
Right.
It's not benefiting anybody, you or him. It's kind of just like detonating a bomb.
Yeah.
And walking away like, oh well. It's like so she needs a little a little therapizing.
Yeah, and they need to do it. She needs to do individual therapy.
Yeah.
At some point couples therapy would be great.
Mm-hmm.
So they can learn how to talk if they do want to stay together, learn how to talk to each other.
Mm-hmm. Next week Erica is going to go to Dorit and be like, I'd like to fix this because I don't have many friends. I'm like, yeah, bitch, you don't have a single friend on this cast right now. You need to, like, what is your strategy here?
I feel like Erica thinks she's on Dynasty.
She does.
And I just feel like she just is on a completely different show than everybody else. But I kind of enjoy that.
We're gonna have to embrace it because she's not going anywhere. And
I'm not mad at it. It's just interesting.
It's hard. It's like, this is a real person. This is
She's
a real person.
She just like walks through the door like, hello.
Dorit. And then she like stares at her too. It's like, it's all so theatrical.
Even like, remember, was it in Berlin or wherever they were when that guy cuts her off with the bicycle and she's in all of that latex?
She just looks at the camera.
It was iconic though. She was just like, that was probably one of the best fourth wall breaks I've ever seen.
Yeah. Because honestly, like, she was in such tight clothes that she would have just like tipped right over and like fallen straight down. So like, it wasn't good. She almost got run over.
It was actually... I actually think that whole dramatic turn was all fucking warranted because I was mad for her when that bike cut her off because I was like, you're just going to cut me off?
And you can see her. She's been bright red spandex. It's not like you couldn't see her coming.
It's like you almost hit me also. Like,
yeah. Okay.
One more step and I would have been toast.
Yeah. All right. Well, now we can be excited for the season. I feel. I'm excited now.
Yes. So, yeah, that's what I was like saying to you, and I sent Emily a voice note. Like, I was just like, I watched it. I usually do watch it multiple times, but I was like, I need to like laser focus because there was just so many little things within this episode. Dorit PK's dynamic, Kyle Mauricio's dynamic. Yep. I really needed to listen to that conversation again with Garcelle's son because I was just blown away at the disrespect. It's a lot. Didn't really hear much from Crystal this episode.
Not at all. That's crazy.
Yeah. I know from the trailers she's going to have a moment with that lady. So
the new one, yeah.
Yeah, Crystal has one more season to be boring before I don't need her here. So she got it. She needs to she does. And she needs to step it up.
Yeah. All right, now it's time for Southern Charm. So we're going to say goodbye to the main feed, goodbye YouTube, goodbye main feed podcast, and hello Patreon. Thank you so much for watching and for listening to She Speaks Bravo with Emily Hanks. If you haven't already, would you mind leaving a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform you listen? That would be amazing. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you are subscribed and hit that bell so you don't miss an episode. And if you're looking for more content, more exclusive bonus content, check out the Patreon. I post 2 exclusive episodes a month, and I'm covering just the Bravo jams, like Classic Roni, Atlanta, and of course Vanderpump Rules. If you just want to support the show, head to buymeacoffee.com/SheSpeaksBravo and buy me a coffee, or 2 or 5. We also have merch available at SheSpeaksBravo.com. And if you're interested in hearing my takes on non-Bravo shows, check out my new podcast, She Speaks It All. I cover The Challenge, Drag Race, and any other show I'm obsessed with that's not Bravo. She Speaks It All is available everywhere you get your podcasts, just like this show. Make sure you're following me on the social medias. I am She Speaks Bravo across all platforms. Thank you so much for any support you give the show, even if it's just listening. Appreciate you, love you, mean it. I'll see you soon.